We are pulling out these lovely little millet croquettes, and as you can see,
Cooking 3 meals for under $8. Sound crazy? It's possible. We're here at St. Lawrence College with Chef Thomas and Enactus to figure out how.
what we have found over the last few years as professors here at the college is that a lot of our students are actually nutrient deficient. And nutrient deficiency has a lot of ramifications, and that nutrient deficiency they've obviously brought with them. Food, good food, affects your well-being. It affects your mental health, it affects your physical health. And quite frankly, when you feed your tummy, you've got to feed your brain at the same time.
The Ontario Student Assistance Program, or OSAP, only allocates $7.49 a day for food to its recipients. So essentially, the students that are on OSAP are only getting less than $8 a day for food, and that's for the entire day, so breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snacks. And so with that, we decided that we wanted to create a program that would help students live within the constraints and the confines of that budget, but still be able to not be living off of craft dinner.
We're going to do something that's actually a part of Recipes for an Empty Wallet, and we're going to feature one of the grains, millet. So this is what it looks like when it's cooked. It's nice and fluffy. It looks very much like rice, but instead of the grain being long, it's a little ball. So we're going to make the recipe in the book called a millet croquette. It's terrifying to think that the average Canadian male, 22 years old, has a diet where they consume almost 3,000 pounds of sugar a year. Now, they get it through a variety of sources. And it's not eating teaspoons of sugar. But when you tell somebody just how much sugar they actually consume, they're quite stunned. I mean, on average, we're supposed to take in 22, maybe 2,300 milligrams of sodium, maximum. Most of us eat that in one meal. Mental health is definitely affected if you're not going to be eating a lot of dark leafy greens, not taking in beta carotene, not taking in the proper protein profiles or the nutrient profiles, and that leads to problems in the classroom, falling asleep, inattention. In some children, it can actually cause behavioral disorders, especially sugar and salt. And you can see that it's very colorful. It's got lots of different textures and flavors in there. So in this bowl right now, we're up to about $2.30. And this is going to make 8 patties, or 4 servings.
This is really it's a workbook, so it teaches you things like how to shop for groceries, pantry basics, how to shop, where to shop, what to look for, and it also includes really key ingredients. Our star ingredients are lentils and millet, and because they're low-cost superfoods, they're really high in protein, really high in nutrients, and not very high in cost. So we really want to introduce those products and those produce especially to students so that they can see that healthy eating doesn't necessarily have to be celery and just vegetables all the time. There are a slew of different variety options that they can have to create healthy recipes.
I like a pizza every now and again. I like a can of pop every now and again. But it's extremely rare in my diet, and I find that with students, it's a very significant portion of their diet. When I developed the concept of food sense, it was basically to make sure that my students understood what food does to their body and how to shop, because most students don't know how to shop. I mean, the problem with students in general is the fact you give them a whole bunch of money in September, and it has to last until December before they get the next chunk. And if you don't know how to manage money, then you obviously can't manage your diet either. So my students were basically getting concerned that they were not being able to feed themselves properly. And these are culinary students. So I sat down with them, said, okay, well, why don't we come up with some recipes that are going to help you folks? Well, that just morphed. This is one of the beauties about Recipes for an Empty Wallet. Use what you have. Don't be afraid, and don't let anybody shame you into buying something fresh and spending half your budget if that's not what you can afford. When you have to feed people, you have to do it in a way that's inexpensive, but very healthy and very nutritious. And this will definitely do the job.
The great thing about the Recipes for an Empty Wallet is that although it was initially designed for students, it's very much a tool that anybody can use. Anybody who's living on a fixed budget can benefit from a cookbook that will help you create these recipes, so it can be used. We work with a variety of different organizations, from the Seniors Association to the Elizabeth Fry Society to the Kingston Military Family Resource Center. So it's really anybody who can benefit from it. It's really a great tool because it gives readers that structure of, okay, this is my budget and this is what I can live with, and this book will help me be able to do that.
A lot of people, when they're on a fixed income, they will go out and buy a large bulk of something and then have to eat it over and over and over and over again, but they only know one way to cook it. So as a result, what happens? They get halfway through that big bag of lentils or whatever they had. Where does it go? It goes into the garbage. On average, we throw out $500 to $800 a year in food just from our fridge. And that's every person in the house. So if there's 6 guys living in a house as students, think about how much money that is. That's the tuition for 2 more people to go to school, going into the garbage on an annual basis. And you can see that the texture of them is quite nice. Lots of herbs. You'd never know you're eating birdseed. This is really good.
What a great community project. For more information, check out their website. I'm Dan Hendry for K-Town Source.